So, Andrew, we understand in our industry that there's been a retirement crisis looming and pending in America for a very, very long time. And unfortunately, you have things like the cost of housing, food, transportation, and of course, healthcare that will continue to rise. And to add to that, people are living much longer and they're having less and less savings to account for that longer lifespan. And when you throw in a pandemic on top of all of that, Andrea, now you can see how things can get really complicated when you're trying to reach your overall financial goals. But as we say in our videos, we don't want you to be frustrated. We want you to be educated. And that's why we do these short educational videos, to make sure that we can help you navigate the retirement planning process. So today we're going to talk about 5 key avoidable mistakes that you're going to want to look out for when it comes to your retirement, so you do not have your own retirement crisis on your hands. Hi, my name is Carson Graves, President and CEO of the Retirement Education Center.
And my name is Andrea, Director of Operations at the Retirement Education Center. And the reason we've created these educational videos is to help to make the difficult and confusing retirement process simple.
Absolutely, Andrea. And we do this by incorporating a team of strategic partners ranging from certified financial analysts, certified financial planners, estate attorneys, insurance advisors, and other needed professionals to help us build a comprehensive and holistic roadmap that will let our clients know when, where, and how they can reach their retirement goals.
For specialized strategies on how to maximize your retirement income, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when we upload new videos.
So, Andrea, I will say to their credit, Congress has really tried to resolve the retirement crisis that we find ourselves in America right now. They've implemented things like the Roth IRA, which of course will allow you to put money in on an after-tax basis, but then take money out tax-free as well. They've also implemented the Roth 401k, which will allow you to save more money on an after-tax basis inside of an employee retirement account and take money out tax-free as well. We have HSA accounts to help pay for healthcare costs. And of course, recently, Congress passed the Secure Act, which will allow small businesses to offer retirement plans to their employees, so we can actually try to increase savings that way. But nevertheless, even with all of their efforts, there's still a big retirement crisis going on in America today. And as I mentioned, when you throw in a pandemic, and when you have more than 50% of Americans stating that they will not have enough money saved if they actually lost their job today. They wouldn't have enough money saved to actually continue their same lifestyle. That is a huge, huge problem. So what I try to do for my clients, and what I want to do for you, for those of you who are watching today, is to give you 5 key mistakes that I found that can be avoidable and can be a huge, huge benefit to you if you can actually steer away from them. And so that's what we're going to cover in today's short educational video. But before we get into those key mistakes, Andrew, what are our 2 rules that we give for retirement income?
Well, rule number 1 is to never run out of money. And rule number 2 is to never forget rule number 1.
So let's go ahead and talk about these 5 key mistakes that you're going to want to avoid in order to make sure that you steer away from your own retirement crisis. So let's go ahead and jump right into talking about the retirement crisis that we see in America today. And everyone, pay close attention to this lesson today, because I think it's extremely important, maybe one of the most important educational videos that I've actually done. So let's go ahead and get some quick insight of what's going on here. One of the things that we must keep in mind is that when you're talking about your retirement, basic retirement security is going to require you to have enough income that is going to be able to take care of all of your necessities when you are no longer able to work. So when you're no longer able to receive a paycheck just for your basic retirement needs or your basic retirement security, you're going to want to make sure you have enough income that's going to pay for those necessities. Those are going to be things like your housing, health care, food, and transportation. These are the 4 basic needs when you retire that you're going to want to make sure that you can cover adequately. Now, we know that Social Security, from all of our videos, that Social Security is the most important and the most common form of income for retirees. But here's the problem. It only provides about 40% of most pre-retirees' income. And in reality, most retirees are going to need at least 70%, and in many cases, even as high as 80% of their pre-retirement income to be satisfied. So what is making this even more of a retirement crisis? This pandemic, right, that's going on. It's making things much worse. We have incomes that are now falling or being stagnant for most retirees. And so the current problem that exists is going to be outlined like this. Working longer is now less of an option for many retirees. The average unemployment rate for those 55 and older right now is 3 times higher than what it was in 2019. Because of that, retirees could see lower Social Security benefits. And why is that the case? Because due to lower average wages that are now going to be calculated because you're no longer working. As you know from my prior educational videos, the Social Security Administration, they're going to look at the highest 35 years of your work history to determine how much Social Security benefits that you're going to be eligible for. And if you're not working, guess what? They're going to calculate zeros into that equation. So you can end up as a retiree now, due to many people being laid off and having it harder to find work and employment, you can end up having now a compromised Social Security benefit. And because you're laid off early, another thing can actually happen. You may decide that you need to take your Social Security benefits early. So you can't wait till full retirement anymore. And depending on your full retirement age, that can be a permanent reduction of your benefits, anywhere from 25 to 30%. So not only would you have lower benefits that you're accounting for, but you can also receive a permanent reduction due to the fact that you are now being almost forced to take those benefits early. Also, with the pandemic, of course, there can be a rise in your healthcare costs if you're a retiree. Why? Because you're afraid, right? They've made us completely afraid of this, and so many retirees are delaying going into the hospital for common preventative screening or any other type of procedures that they may need to have done in order to maintain a certain health level for themselves, out of the fear of actually getting ill from COVID. Another thing that is not being talked about is a rising threat of foreclosures. Now, we know that our government has put a moratorium on anyone being able to be evicted, and they also have forbearances on people paying their mortgages. But that is going to end at some point soon, and when it does, there can be a reckoning that we're going to be looking at when it comes to foreclosures. And when that happens, as it did before when the housing crisis took place in 2008, your home values could drop, and therefore you can have less equity to rely on from the sale of that home, which can be a major issue if you're looking to downsize to complement any retirement deficiency that you may have. So this can be a huge problem. And so when you look at falling incomes with falling savings as well, plus any type of rising costs in housing, healthcare, food, and transportation, what is that going to equate to? Absolutely, more debt, which is always going to be a problem. So let's go ahead and take a look at this chart as I try to outline these 3 major categories that we're going to talk about today. We're going to look at what the major retirement crisis that I see may be, what the retirement solution can be for that retirement crisis, and what the current facts are as it relates to this retirement crisis. So the first retirement crisis that I see when I'm consulting with my clients is that they don't have a strategy. And so the main thing for that solution is to make sure that you can create a plan. We all know the old adage, right? He who fails to plan, plans to fail. And so you don't want to be in that category. Having a retirement plan created for you will increase your potential for success in retirement. There's no doubt about that. That's before and while you're in retirement. So you're going to want to make sure that you create a plan for your retirement. The cold hard facts are that 88% of most retirees have never had a fully written retirement plan, and that's a huge problem. Also, overlooking healthcare costs, another major factor and another major retirement crisis that we see in the marketplace. How can you actually tackle that problem? You want to look into getting some form of long-term care for yourself. According to the Alzheimer's Association, this is very important. The estimated cost for in-life care in 2019 ranged between $233,000 and $367,000. Now that can take a huge chunk out of your retirement savings and cause major problems. Here's the cold hard facts about this. 68% of people turning 65 will need some form of long-term care during their lifetime, but only 2% of people actually have it, that's 65 and older. Come on, we have to solve this problem because this can be a major detriment to your retirement solvency. Overlooking your health. This is another thing that I'm a big advocate of. I love, taking care of myself and making sure that I prioritize health in my life and in my family's life. And you should do the same. Retirement is not just about income. You're going to have to make sure you look at, maintaining a healthy diet. You want to make sure that you exercise regularly. You're going to want to stay socially involved and intellectually active. Very, very important to make sure that you have the type of retirement lifestyle that you had envisioned for yourself. But here's the fact, and we know this. The pandemic has done a really harsh number on many, many Americans. We have increased depression. We have increased anxiety, distress now. We have people with low self-esteem. And we have this thing known as the pandemic 15 that we're dealing with. We have people gaining at least 15 pounds on average during this pandemic. That's a major, major problem that can lead to other problems in your retirement. So another thing that I want to discuss as far as a retirement crisis is not maximizing your tax-deferred saving options. So we've talked about this on numerous videos where, we want to encourage you always to participate in your employer's sponsored plan, whether that be a 401k, a 403b, a 457b. You're going to want to make sure that you're taking advantage of that because you could be passing up free money from that employer in their form of employer matching contributions. So make sure that you take advantage of that. Here's the facts about this. When you're looking at ages between 20 to 49, that age group is contributing about 8% to their employer plans. It is highly recommended that you contribute anywhere between 10 to 15%, even as high as 20% of your income to that employer plan in order to maximize your retirement income potential. Last but certainly not least is this get rich quick mentality that we see in America, of course, and we may see this all over the world. But when it comes to get rich quick schemes and that mentality, that is the quickest way that you can fail when it comes to your retirement. And so I would say the optimal way in order for you to avoid this mistake is just to make sure that you have a proper asset allocation strategy in place for yourself. Now look, we don't give investment advice on this channel. We don't think that's proper as a fiduciary because we don't know enough about your situation. But we do like to educate. Educate is totally different. That means that you're now conscious of what you can do to avoid this mentality. So having that type of mentality of having a properly asset allocation strategy in place where it's going to be based off of your risk tolerance and your time horizon and not chasing some type of hot investment will certainly prevent you from falling into the despair that this situation can actually bring for sure. Now, according to the FTC analysis here, and that's the Federal Trade Commission, individuals report a median loss every single year between $16,000 and $24,000 due to some sort of financial fraud or financial scheme. So, of course, those numbers are rising during the pandemic because everyone is looking for a way to, of course, prey on individuals who are susceptible to this get-rich-quick mentality. And we know that we've seen the situation when it comes to GameStop and other type of stocks like that, where there's this huge run-up for people making huge returns on those types of situations. Be very, very careful about that when it comes to your own personal endeavors. because a lot of times those things can lead you to a path of destruction when it comes to your retirement. So no matter what your situation may be, we want to make sure that you always consult with a financial advisor or a tax advisor about your personal situation. Also, if you don't have a financial advisor that you are confident in, we would love to speak to you as well about any of your retirement questions or concerns. And when we do speak with you, please remember to ask us how your next cup of Starbucks coffee can be on us. So I really hope that this educational video gave you some insight on how to avoid your own retirement crisis. Please remember that we make these videos for educational purposes only, and that you should always seek out your own financial advisor or tax advisor for your own unique situation. Also, if you're looking for a fiduciary advisor, we would highly encourage you to just click on the link below and apply to become one of our high-value clients. For more information on this topic or any of the subject matters that we've discussed in our past videos, feel free to leave any questions or comments in the section below.
To learn more about our services and how we can help you to increase your chances of not outliving your retirement savings, make sure to click on the link in the description below and sign up for our free Maximizing Your Retirement Income Masterclass. After this video, please check out our other videos that we've created that will give you tips on how to maximize your retirement. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share it with a friend. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you have questions,
we have answers.